we wanted to also do something a little bit different as well. I think thinking about some sort of part four. I think we're co-founders. We work together, taking us through a little bit of a gear shift. I think one of the questions that we had gotten coming into this that people wanted to kind of cover is, I mean, it's actually not a bad segue, right? I mean, what's been the golden thread for what we talked about so far? It's been a lot of W's. It's been a lot of W's.
Wins.
Yeah, it's been win after win. We went from, Jensen to 5 trillion, to Apple to 4 trillion, to SpaceX to 1.5 to 2 trillion. It's people who, however you want to slice it, ultimately are winners, and respect to Tim Cook for being one of the league of extraordinary gentlemen as well. I think one thing that I wanted to definitely cover is, how do you think about maintaining momentum, maintaining hunger in a situation where you've had a massive win? So you've had a win, something that you set out a goal, you've been plotting to
I just go
achieve
back.
it.
I'm like, it's a wrap.
Job done.
I think that's an interesting one, because in that moment, obviously, you have like the done this fulfillment. You want to just breathe out, like, actually something you've been grinding for. Like, you want to just say yes, okay, but obviously you still got. You realize, okay, this is just one checkpoint. You still got a lot ahead of you, and I think, like you were saying, I think the way we actually do it is something that I think it makes a lot of sense. In that, as much as you don't want to get too like relaxed and too complacent, you want to find a way to still mark those wins. Find a way to just have a tradition of saying, you know what, this was a good one. That gives you that bit of like feel good feeling, upliftment, and that should channel straight into the next thing you want to do. Like, as soon as you get that feel good feeling, okay, cool, what's next? Like, to channel straight into pushing straight for the next thing. You just find a balance, so you're not too relaxed, but also it's like you're not just go, and no time to really, look around at what we've done. Let's look around, let's take a look. Okay, cool. We've done something pretty decent so far.
Yeah, man. Because do you know what my thing on it really is I think you got two things that you actually need to healthily conflict and compete with each other to keep maintaining momentum and keep maintaining that success.
Right.
Because I think, let's just say, obviously we had a couple decent W's over the last couple of weeks, couple contracts. Come on, praise God.
Praise God.
And I think you, again, as I was getting at, you kind of have to balance off two things, because on the one hand, ultimately, that in order to maintain the momentum, to hit the aggressive goals that you set, you don't really have loads of time to stop.
Yeah.
Mathematically, like let alone anything else, you don't have loads of time to stop. And there's also a question of if you should actually create that time to stop when you know that the time that you are putting in is now, propelling you towards that towards that vision and towards those goals and past those goals and exceeding those goals. And I think what people often question is, they say, okay, but if you just keep doing that for 10, 15 years and, you never celebrate, you accumulate all these, all this wealth and all this success and all these possessions and all the things that come with it, have you actually enjoyed your life?
Right.
Have you actually enjoyed your life? Have you got to a place where you've enjoyed your life?
Yeah.
Now for me, I'm gonna give my honest. I'm literally, how it is, how we do
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I'm gonna give my honest thing.
Let's hear it.
I look at the real generational successes. I'm a football guy, so I had to come with a football reference.
Okay,
and
cool.
For anyone who doesn't know, I often think about Sir Alex Ferguson, right? So I read his book, Leading. It's good, and I'm not doing promo. This ain't a commission thing. Just read it if you're interested in. I don't care that much either way. But one thing that stuck with me from it was, this is a guy who's, he's won 13 Premier League titles as a coach and as a leader, over 27 different trophies over decades. He's built generational team. He's put thousands of players through, from children.
Sound like a Manchester United fan.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Cut the tape. Cut the tape. I didn't even mention. I didn't even mention United, man. If this got listen, Villa till I die. Yeah, Villa till I die. Good evening till I die, man. Word to Unai Emery, man. Let's never do that again. But in all seriousness, ultimately in Britain and the UK, when you think about a successful sports team, the iconic team is Man United, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Don't even let me start talking about Chelsea today, please. Please don't let me start talking about Chelsea, because we'll have a long evening, man. Word to Rosinha.
Bad patch is all it is. We'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be back.
Okay. What's the message from it, though, right? This is a team that ultimately has repeatedly found a model that works over a long period of time. That's the indisputable fact. Yeah. I look at the pioneering leaders of those teams. One of them is Rio Ferdinand, and he talks a lot about what was the ethos and what was the culture like during those real moments of prolonged intensity. Yeah. Where you're going back to back for, it's not just months at this point, so you're going back to back for years now at this point. And he said, he said it got to a point where they're preparing for a season, they'd win a trophy in the season, and they wouldn't even celebrate. Yeah. They'd win a trophy because it was expected. That was the level. That was the standard. They're not even going to celebrate.
Just another Tuesday.
It's just another day. There's another game next week, and we keep moving. What was interesting, though, is that they did say is that ultimately it gets to a point at the end of the season where you can honestly assess and reflect how you performed versus your goals. And you can sit there and say, we did what we set out to do. Let's go get a drink, man. Right. Let's go get a drink. Let's go have a party. We did what we were going to do. Let's go do it. Let's celebrate together on what we accomplished together as a team. And I think where it can get confusing in, co-founding or startups is there's no end of season.
Keep going.
There's no 38 game. There's no final. There's no end of the season. There's no obvious point at which you're gonna break. And that's the one kind of difference that I'd say between the two realities is whilst the mindset of what you need to do to continue being successful over a long period of time is remarkably similar when you look at the habits over a long period of time. The only difference, I think, is that you need to find that point in your business relationship where you take that time to say, okay, we did what we set out to do. Now, most of us who are in this growth phase, in this growth period and growing rapidly, we do that each week. Yeah. You got targets each week. You got to assign a certain number of customers each week, a certain number of new MRR each week. And so I think the balance that I think we found, right, is when you do that, when you sign that new contract and we sign that big customer, the next day there's still work to do,
Yeah, still work to do.
Like, there's actually still work to do, Like whether you're feeling good or whether you're feeling low, actually, regardless, either way, there's still that work to do. So how I think about it is in the same way I'm not even going to mention Man United again, but in the same way, that sportsman might figure out their period of celebration is at the end of the season. As the co-founder, figure out when is the point of your season that you're going to do that recognition. Right. Can it be once a week? Is it once a month? And just make sure that it also does happen. I think that's the only way that you're going to find the balance to maintain that momentum and maintain that hunger and maintain that success, whilst also just recognizing and celebrating, look, this is what I was put here to do by God. And this is what we're doing.
Yeah, word. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just find a rhythm when you say this is what we do, like once a week, once a month. Use that time to just reflect, and then next day you
get back to it.
Next day you go up customer ping. You need to get on it. Yeah. More about apparently there's apparently rumors that Apple is actually working on building their own AI data centers.
Oh, so that whole CapEx conversation, okay.
Yeah, so apparently there's news that Apple is trying to build their own AI data centers, and they basically want to build on their own silicon. So they want to have the whole I'm stuck. So in the meantime, they've obviously partnered with Google and like they're
Yeah.
building on CPU. So they want to like have a 2-pronged approach.
Yeah.
So eventually they can win off like the Google's ecosystem and then sit on that.
Do you know what was funny though? I read somewhere like all this time they're having this conversation about like TPU versus GPU, Nvidia versus Google. Even this week, Google placed an order for the new. I think it's either the new Rubens or the black ones.
Nvidia GPU.
Yeah. Like another astronomical order.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, "Oh, you lot are arguing about this." I don't think they're even really thinking about it. I think the truth is that both of them, over the next comfortably 3 years, any chip they produce will be bought and will be used. So the maximum, however you want to think about it, the maximum amount of chips that they can physically produce with the constraints that they have will be bought and will be exhausted. So I think again, it's why it comes back to that question of market share. Like, does it even matter? I don't know. I don't think so.
To be fair, for Google, obviously, they want to serve everything. They want people to come to them to serve everything. So Google does serve Nvidia on their platform. So you can come to Google's cloud and say, I want to use an Nvidia H100 or H200, and it's provided for you. So even Google is a customer of Nvidia. They'll keep buying from Nvidia,
and they will be.
Yeah, they'll keep being a customer because they're trying to make their cloud business the big thing. Now, if you're going to be cloud business, you need to have everything.
Yeah.
So something that's interesting to us is that currently Google doesn't actually sell their TPUs.
Hold on. Actually, that's so you say that. So talk to me about this Anthropic deal. Then what's going on there? Is that all rental or what's happening?
So currently, the way I understand the Google structure is they do not just sell the TPUs, and that is because the reason why Nvidia can sell their TPUs is because the CUDA platform is well known, and there's so many things that already integrate into it. Google has like a special system where they build everything for you. You need to use their TPUs, use the network, and use they have this special configuration for the network and help you to, you basically need to work with them to be able to train your models on it. It's not like a plug and play thing. So because of that, they currently don't sell the TPUs and they instead rent it out. So people.
So it's rental. Okay. Yeah.
It's rental.
Okay,
However, they're currently looking at starting to sell the TPUs in the future, but only to very select people who have worked with them before. So Anthropic, for example, Anthropic has already worked with them internally. They rent it. They're starting to now look at selling to Anthropic specifically. Meta as well. So Meta has been using some Google TPUs. They're looking to start selling to Meta for them to use. But it's not something you could just go buy off the shelf. Like I could just go buy a H100 Nvidia. No one else can just do that for Google. You need to have a close relationship because they need to work with you.
I think that the interesting question there though is if we are still today in 2026 in this place where Google is not able to meet its own compute demands. How serious are they as an organization if they are still, even whatever it is, whether it's rent or sell, whatever the commercial model is, if they are releasing that capacity for others to use without fulfilling their own needs for the products, for their own, for their products, for their consumers and their colleagues. How serious are they actually about this? That's the one question you can ask.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very interesting problem. And I saw the CEO of Google Cloud speaking about this recently. And he was even pointing out, like, I think the interviewer was asking him because it was even a problem that I think Microsoft had as well, where they were limiting some of their Azure capacity. And it's one that they really have to face. And there is no like one solution because all their competitors need this capacity for just one thing. Google has to serve search, they have to serve YouTube, they have to serve everything else, and they still have to sell capacity. So it's like...
But they don't have to sell. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to sell the capacity. So the question is, why are you doing that and enabling others to develop their own products if you have not even got the capacity for your own needs?
So basically keep to renting. But I think the problem is if you want people to start getting to, if you want to hook people using your own architecture, because I mean, it gets hard if there's certain people that will only do it if they can buy and own it. So that's the dilemma they have, is like, okay, but obviously Google will only go for like the massive contract. Those are the only people that can convince them what it's worth actually giving them. Because at that point it's like, if Meta comes and says we need like a I don't know, whatever $1 billion. It's like Google then has to think, okay, you know what? This is actual revenue that we need still because we need to expand. We need to do this. Ideally, they wouldn't, but for some big contracts, you don't want to just kick them out. You can't just say no. It's money. You can't just throw that kind of money away.
And I'll be provocative as well. Yeah. What I thought, my honest initial reaction when I read that was, Google is probably looking at it and going, okay, Nvidia is making these exorbitant, extreme, almost gross net profits at this point. They're getting 50, 60% net profit margins on a base of hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue, right? So it's getting obscene. And I think they're looking at it and going, right, we're paying these guys a lot of bread. We're paying these guys a lot of bread for something that we actually even think we can produce ourselves at a lower cost per token, right? Does this strategically make sense? And I think they basically just looked at it and said, either we can just focus on our own needs and just make our own products amazing and keep paying this, you know, serious check to Nvidia always, forever, and decide that's what we're always going to do. Or now we have to create a business out of this TPU model that we have and TPU business that we have, or we'll never be able to do it because that lock-in is going to continue for all these other hyperscalers with Nvidia, and we won't have a choice, but we'll always have to just keep paying these margins. So I think they basically said, let's create a business, like a viable competitor now, whilst there's still a possibility or chance to be able to do it. Yeah. And so we can try and effectively compete away that margin a little bit now. So that and to be fair, it might look like a masterstroke. Again, we talked about thinking 10, 15, 20 years ahead. It might look like a masterstroke if a couple of things are true. If they're able to create, which seems pretty obvious they're going to be able to do, is create a viable, high-margin TPU business that they do sell to others. I think we're going to get a pretty easy tick on that. And if they are able to use that to compete against the GPU margin and profitability that Nvidia has for the rest of the market, and it's hard to envision they won't be able to do that as well. So they're probably trading off, okay, this might slightly decelerate our own, or not decelerate, but it might limit the pace at which we can develop our own products with AI. But we make that trade-off for being able to create a sustainable market for us in the future. I think that's what they're looking for.
I think that's it hurts right now because if you're, like you've seen outside, everyone is having capacity issues. If you're having capacity issues, why are you selling it? It hurts right now, but it just gives you a foot in that door. So later on, you can try to push as far as possible. Otherwise, you're locked out forever. Yeah, man. And if for whatever reason...
No one wants to be there.
If for whatever reason, you don't even win in terms of the... Obviously, we think models will be commoditized and like there's not going to be one winner. But if for whatever reason, you end up being like the least like everyone picks, it's like, okay, you didn't win here, you didn't win here either. It's like, it's best to just have skin in the game.
For what it's worth, I think Google has the best stack, right? Because they've got a serious, viable compute player. They got the data. The products are, I mean, obviously amazing. I think they're probably the only one that has the full stack to that extent.
Yeah, and they integrate straight into all your and any company who's already got like a Google Enterprise solution. It's like straight in. Gemini everywhere.
It's funny, we didn't even mention Microsoft the whole pod, but but listen, it's no shots, no shades, man. What's a sat
I wonder what's going on over there, actually. I wonder if their eventual plan is to just... I actually wonder, like, what Microsoft's plan is.
I think they probably want OpenAI, don't they? They put a lot of bread in them.
Yeah, but it seems like OpenAI is trying to pull away from them.
Yeah, I mean, would you, if you had a few $1 trillion business, would you sell it at that point when you're already a $70 billion or trillionaire? You're probably not going to sell it, right? What's the point? So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I don't think that OpenAI is not... What might happen is OpenAI might get distressed for cash, and then Microsoft may be able to get them cut price, to be honest. We'll see. But in terms of where we are over the next, 12 to 18 months, I don't see that happening.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, man. Look, you know what it is. As always, thank you for watching. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Don't shoot
Listen,
us,
you know what it is at this point. Like, share, subscribe. It really helps us. It makes a difference. And we appreciate you for following even from day one. So if you get the chance to, please do like, share, subscribe.
Let us know
All
what
right.
you think. Drop your comments. Anything you want us to speak about.
Exactly.
We'll take a look.
Exactly. Coming next week, man. All
Thank
right.
you.